So John and I are waking up this morning at St. Andrews State Park Campground here in Panama City, Florida. We got here yesterday afternoon, and I didn't do any video yesterday of us setting up because that would have been a real clown show. We got here just before a afternoon thunderstorm, and yeah, we were setting up the tent in the rain and everything got muddy. There was some severe lightning strikes. Matter of fact, one hit so close that it knocked out the power to our campsite, and we didn't have any power. But the ranger, we called the ranger's office and they were here within 15 minutes and fixed our power, so we do have power. So our campsite is pretty big. It's not real level for tent camping. So the first thing that I would recommend is a long extension cord. This entire area is our campsite, so it is really big. We didn't get a chance yesterday to move our picnic table. We're going to move it out and set up our picnic shelter, our little screen room that we have to go over our picnic table. But there's our power box and our fire ring. Our tent is kind of set up at an angle, a little bit of a slant, because, oh look, John's waking up, because our extension cord wasn't really long enough to get to the level area that we wanted to. So we have about 50 feet of an extension cord. So I think that we're going to invest in a longer extension cord. So anyway, here's our campsite. Across the street is, over here is St. Andrews Bay. And this is our first full day. And we're going to be doing some exploring today. We are in between St. Andrews Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. And this should be really an exciting and fun adventure. So we have campers and RVs of all different sizes here. One downside to St. Andrews Campground is that there's not a lot of shade at the campsites. So if you're going to camp here, be sure to bring a canopy or some kind of shade for your site. These people have a golf cart. That's probably their own, but they do have golf cart rentals here. Here's another one over here. So whether they brought their own or rented one at the camp store, one or the other. It's a pretty big park, and we're actually going to drive to the other side of the park to go to the beach because it's kind of a long walk with our chairs and our cooler and everything. But you could always rent a golf cart. And here is the dump station. And here is the bathhouse. Okay, so this is the bathhouse shower. What's nice about this is you have the shower here, but you have a closed-in privacy area, a dry area with a bench. So this might not seem like much, but the last campground we were at did not have a privacy area to dry off and get dressed. It was more open, or you had to dress inside the shower area after it was all wet, you know, after you showered. So this is a nice feature of this bathhouse. Lots of people here with their pets. Lots of people here riding bikes. There's kayak rentals here. There's also boat tours. There's a lot to do in the area. And we've seen the fishing charters going out all morning long. Good morning, Mr. Bunny. So we're driving over to the beach now. We are on the Gulf of Mexico. It was just a short 2-minute drive from our campsite. A little too far to walk with our chairs, umbrella, cooler, what have you. I mean, it's definitely doable if you want to walk it, if you don't have a lot of stuff to lug with you. And also, again, they do have golf cart rentals at the camp store, so you could always do that. Oh, this is awesome. The water is beautiful. I love it. So John and I are going to take a little walk here on the beach. Going to go around the bend to the jetty where St. Andrews Bay comes out to the Gulf. The water is a beautiful, beautiful color. Yeah, see, here's the dunes. There's the pirate ship coming out from the jetty. Okay, so here's a good view of the jetty coming from St. Andrews Bay to the Gulf of Mexico. Jetty rocks are unstable, movement can cause injury. And there's still a lot of people climbing on them and fishing off of them. So here's a little lagoon area. Got some people out there learning how to dive. It's a dive class going on. Nice little calm area for the little ones to play in. So our campsite is just around the bend on the other side over there. So I don't know, it's probably a mile from the campsite to the Gulf, if that. We drove by car. So we got the bay on one side of our campsite, the Gulf on the other side, and in the middle is a little lake called Gator Lake, and we're going to check that out a little bit later. Okay, so we have a little beach store when you can rent kayaks and snorkel equipment, umbrellas, beach chairs, paddle boards. Pretty cool. So John and I are going to do this little short nature hike, 15 to 30 minute walk here to Gator Lake. Ready? So we got St. Andrews Bay on one side, the Gulf of Mexico on the other, and Gator Lake in the middle. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Hello, Mr. Bunny.
Oh, look. Little red.
Hi, Guy. Hi. So this is the pier, the fishing pier here at St. Andrews State Park. The view of the beach from the pier. This water is emerald green. It's beautiful. And there's camp store, ice, any supplies you might have forgotten. Rent a golf cart, rent a bicycle. Here goes the ferry to Shell Island. Bought our tickets for the Shell Island ferry at the pier store. Getting ready to board the Shell Island shuttle to go experience Shell Island. It says play and explore, and that's what we're gonna do. We're in a pontoon boat. There's our campsite over there. I see our tent from here. So our campsite is over there, right where the dock is, right where we left off. This is St. Andrews Bay. On Shell Island. This is the life. I could do this every day. So there's still damage here left over from Hurricane Michael. I'm sure at one time this was a pier or a dock. You think it's older than Michael? Here's more hurricane damage. From which hurricane, we're not sure. Either the last big one, I think, was Michael. But there have been several that have hit up in this area. Heading back to the campground. One of the great things about our campsite at St. Andrews State Park in Panama City is that you're real close to the city. So if you don't feel like doing a lot of cooking, matter of fact, we didn't do any cooking on this trip because we were so close to the city. We found lots of great restaurants. Here's an example, Captain Andrews. From Captain Andrews, you can take the fishing charters, dolphin cruises, very popular activities here in Panama City Beach. We went to a few great restaurants. We went to J. Michael's and we went to Hammerhead Fred's. We didn't get a chance to try Captain Andrews, but this looks interesting, maybe on our next trip back here. But again, St. Andrews State Park is really close to a lot of other attractions in Panama City, great restaurants, boat tours, you name it, they have it here. So if you want to camp but don't feel like doing the cookouts, hey, just get in your car, drive a mile down the street, and you have a great selection of restaurants. So about 2 miles from our campsite, if that, on Thomas Drive, there are two supermarkets. There's a Winn-Dixie and a Publix supermarket. Both have delis and in all your grocery needs, so it's real convenient to the park. Okay, so we are packing up. Our camping adventure at St. Andrews State Park in Panama City is over. And a quick recap of the campground. The pluses, lots to do, especially if you like the beach, boating, fishing, bicycling, wildlife viewing. All of that is here. We are in Lagoon Campground. There are two campgrounds here. The campground by the front entrance is currently closed for renovations, but we stayed in Lagoon Campground. A plus is the boat ramp is right at the entrance to the Lagoon Campground. So if you are a boater, you are in luck. Right here on St. Andrews Bay with the jetty to the Gulf. Boat ramp, real convenient. Another plus, to get around the park, you can rent golf carts at the camp store. That's right at the entrance to Lagoon Campground. And you can zip around the park, go to the beach, go to find a great fishing spot. Very, very convenient. Bathhouse is great. Nice changing area with a wet room with your shower and a private dry room to get dressed. So all in all, a great experience. On the downside, a few things of note. The campground and the state park has, which I believe is still leftover damage from Hurricane Michael. So there's a lot of potholes in the roads. Not too bad, but you have to drive slow. Leveling in the campground. We're tent camping, and we have a nice large space, as you can see here, but it's not very level. We could not find an area for our tent that was completely level, so our tent is at a bit of a slant. I don't know how much trouble it would be for RVs and campers, but for tent camping it was a little difficult for us. The electric water is set up a little wonky as far as where it is on the site. That's our electric box over there, and of course our tent is way over here. So a long electric cord, a long water hose, and there's also another thing is we are on the beach, so there is a lot of sand. I forgot to pack our sand mat, so we ended up with a lot of sand in the tent, but luckily John remembered to bring the hand vac, so we were able to vacuum the sand out of the tent. As you can see here, we have a lot of mud, sand. We've had some weather, so make sure you bring something to keep the sand out of your tent or RV. So like I said before, there was some recent hurricanes that hit this area, Michael being the strong one. I believe it was a Cat 5. So there's still some residual leftover damage from the hurricanes. And this area gets struck a lot. It's very vulnerable. So this campground is probably due for renovations. I know they closed the one in the front of the park. They're completely redoing it. Perhaps they have this one on schedule. Maybe they could do some leveling work and whatnot. But again, everything is really convenient. There's the fishing dock and a boat ramp right here at the entrance to Lagoon Campground. St. Andrews Bay is beautiful. You are reasonably in walking distance to the beach. It's probably about a mile on the other side of the campground. But if you're going to take chairs, umbrellas, cooler, you probably want to drive it or rent a golf cart. And John's waiting for me in the car, so it looks like we're going to hit the road before the storms set in for the day. We've had a lot of weather, but this campsite's And this state park has been so much fun that even with a little rain and a thunderstorm or two, we had a great time. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for more of our The View from Florida adventures.